Shalom, Yasharallah, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Kol, Hala, Hawa, La, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai, all praises, glory to Yahweh, Halawaya, praise Yahweh. And saying that, what we going to get into and what we going to touch on are the things that y'all need to know and understand. Because see, at the end of the day, many righteous and believers die outside of their faith, despite them reading the Bible and going to church on Saturdays and Sundays. You understand me? I see a lot of you all lack understanding of what y'all worshiping, because the church is not designed to teach you what y'all worshiping, yet to give you the basic knowledge to keep you into idolatry, because they know that idol worship and the children of Israel, the northern and the southern kingdom, to this day are in idol worship. So they are enslaved to these other nations, religiously and politically. Do you understand me? See, so, but we're going to get into these things because, see, understand, your religious leader or your pastor is not of Yahweh God, but is of man. Because, see, understand, religion is an organization, governing system of man. You understand me? And it has nothing to do with Yahweh God. Now, Yahweh God governing system is what we know as the commandments, statutes, and ordinances. You understand me? Now, politically, we'll call that theocracy. You understand me? But anyway, at the end of the day, y'all lack understanding. And so we're going to get into the things that y'all lack understanding so that you can get a better understanding of what you worship. You understand me? Because, see, understand. And what we're going to get into is charity. You understand me? Because y'all got that false ideology of charity, thinking that you do good and you help others despite of your belief in God and going to church, that you will get into heaven once you die, or you'll be judged on that. The basic scripture of that is true. However, it is false. You understand me? Because y'all lack that understanding, because the doctrines of Christianity or the doctrines of these religious organizations is man philosophical ideology and view, and it has nothing to do with Yahweh God, but the commandments of man and how he view money, materialism, and God. All right, but see, understand, charity is part of the scriptures. You understand me? Yes, charities are physical acts, yet charity and no physical acts are led by the Spirit. You have to be led by the Spirit. You understand me? Because charity ties in and connects to the commandments. You understand me? And in fact, let's go to Romans. Let's go to the book of Romans. Let me get Romans 8 and 5 right quick. And then we're going to go ahead. Well, we got Romans 8 and 5. And then we're going to go ahead on into the book of Matthew. We're going to get Matthew 7 and 22. Romans chapter 8 verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. And when he's talking about the flesh, he's talking about the philosophical nature of man, the philosophy of man and man's ideology. See, understand me? Because when they bit into that fruit, they bit into philosophy, so their eyes was open. You understand me? Let's read that again. Romans chapter 8 verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh. And when we're talking about mind the things of the flesh, he's talking about social issues. That's why you go into Proverbs. Proverbs tell you to guard the heart dignity, because out of it flows the issues of life. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Okay, let's read that again. Romans chapter 8 verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit mind the things of the Spirit. Now, understand, when he say the minds of the Spirit, he's talking about that divine spirit. Because, see, you have two spirits. You have the spirit of Yahweh God, and then you have the spirit of man. Do you understand me? And y'all have to learn and understand the difference, okay? Because a lot of y'all lack understanding because it's not taught into the church. You understand me? It's not taught on highways and byways either. You understand me? See, so you have, even though charity is a physical act, but then you have to be led by the Spirit. Now, you can be led by a divine nature or a philosophical nature. You understand me? Let's finish up. Romans chapter 8, let's start from the beginning. Verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnal minded is death, but to be spiritual minded is life and peace. Now, when it says to be carnal minded, he's talking about the philosophy of man and its ideology. You understand me? That leads to death due to the fact that their eyes was open. So now disobedience come through all, and through one man's we were all created in the shaping and iniquity and sin. So we all born with that sinful nature. So we automatically astray from God at some point in our lives. You understand me? See, so understand you have two types of spirit, a divine and a physical spirit. You understand me? Now, when it comes to charity, you have to be led by that spirit. You understand me? And a lot of you all lack that understanding. So what happens is that you die outside of your faith. Matter of fact, before I get Matthew, we're gonna hold that. Let's get Proverbs right quick. Let me get Proverbs 19 and 16 right quick. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 16. He that keepeth the commandment keepeth his own soul, but he that despiseth his ways shall die. And meaning that if you keep the commandments, that divine governance system, you understand me? You keep your soul. You understand me? You won't die. Yet, once you despise the commandments, you embrace the commandments of man. So due to the fact of embracing the commandments of man, you automatically give the word of your soul. You understand me? Especially when it comes into the football, in the music business, in the entertainment business. It doesn't matter. If you are outside of the commandments, your soul belongs to word, ideology, and philosophy. It doesn't matter whether you believe in Buddha, you believe in Allah, or you believe in some dude that do not exist named Jesus. You understand me? It doesn't matter what religion you are in. You understand me? See, so anything outside of the commandments is death. You understand me? Now, the commandments, now anything that's inside of the commandments, it's life. You understand me? It is what it is, okay? When you go back to 1 Samuel, matter of fact, let me get that. We're gonna move on. 1 Samuel, what, 15 and 22? No, 23. Shalaki. Yeah, we're gonna start at 22. 1 Samuel, chapter 15, verse 22. And Samuel said, have the Lord as great delight in burnt offering and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to the hearkening that of fat rams. Meaning that although Yahweh God likes sacrifices for sins, yet it's better to be obedient. Because why? You lose a lot. You understand me? You have to lose this in order to gain this. And you have to lose that and get a little bit of this in order just to have a little bit of that. So you have to make sacrifices. You understand me? Say like if you have $10 and you went and spent $10 getting high on drugs, right? Now you got your kids to feed and you got to wash clothes. So what happened is that when you spent your money, now you sacrifice the kids' clothes, you sacrifice everything else. You understand me? Because you didn't obey and went and washed clothes and took care of your kids. So as a result, you neglected your kids. You understand me? For selfish reasons. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is, all right? See, so obedience is better than sacrifice. You understand me? Because if you don't obey your parents and they find out, they'll tear your ass up. You feel what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is. Let's hit verse 23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and adultery. Because thou hast rejected the words of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee. And he rejected Saul from being king, and to this day he reject you. Do you understand me? And a lot of you all are rejected but don't even know it. You understand me? Because see, through y'all knowledge and y'all understanding, by y'all going to church and listening to these religious organization pastors and the religious leaders. You understand me? But in reality, y'all are outside of the commandments. Y'all are outside of Yahweh God. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's go Matthew chapter 7, verse 22. Many will say unto me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. And that iniquity is the twist and bend, and y'all twist and bend charity, thinking that charity is going to get you into the heavens, thinking that charity is going to be pleasing to Yahweh God because you help to pour out. But understand that that's not the case. You understand me? Because you have to be led by the Spirit. If you led by the commandments of man, then it's violent. That's what do you call it? It's emptiness. Your works is called emptiness. See, so let's go back. Matthew chapter 7, verse 22. Many will say unto me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, cast out devils, and done many wonderful works? You understand me? See, so y'all can do all these wonderful works, but at the end of the day, he don't know you because y'all twisted and y'all bend the scriptures, because y'all lack understanding, and your spiritual leaders, they lack understanding of the scriptures. Because in order to prophesy and break these scriptures down, you have to be in a divine spirit. Do you understand me? Not in a philosophical spirit. And charity is a philosophical terminology, yet you have to be led. You understand me? By that spirit. Let's go back. And a lot of you all died, and he don't know you because y'all twist and bend, and not understanding that charity is ties into the commandments. You understand me? The commandments is a part of charity. All right? You understand me? Let's go back on Romans. Wait, what's that? Romans chapter 8. And we're going to start from the beginning. Verse 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit mind the things of the spirit. For to be carnal minded is death, but to be spiritual minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is an enmity against Yahweh God, for it is not subject to the law of Yahweh, neither indeed it can be. Because the law is a divine governing system. The commandments are the divine, are divine, and politically we call that bureaucracy. You understand me? See, so now the flesh is made out of material matters that are corrupt. See, so by nature, the commandments, let me back it up. By the commandments being divine, the physical nature is not subject to those commandments, because physical nature follows physical nature. You understand me? It is what it is. Matter of fact, let me hold that. Let me get where that scripture is gonna come to me. Yeah, what is it? Galatians 4 and 8. Shalaki. Yeah, we're gonna get Galatians 4 and 8. Galatians. Thanks for bearing with me, you all. Galatians chapter 4, verse 8. Howbeit, then when ye knew not Yahweh, you did service unto them which by nature are no gods. Meaning that regardless of whatever you did, you followed the physical nature. And as a child, when they coming up, they follow the physical nature. And when they do develop their spiritual belief system, they have a choice, either to continue in that spiritual belief system or continues to follow the philosophical ideology of man. So by nature, we automatically follow the philosophy of man. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's get back to Romans 8 and 7. Romans chapter 8, verse 7. So then they that are of the flesh, so they that are in the flesh cannot please Yahweh. Meaning that the works that y'all do cannot please him, because those works are corrupt. Do you understand me? And a lot of you got that ideology of thinking that because I help this person and help that person, God gonna bless me. See, so y'all have that wrong ideology. You understand me? Y'all have that wrong view. And as a result of that, y'all die outside of y'all faith because y'all works is corrupt. You understand me? Your works and your charity work that you did for other people are philosophy, are the philosophical spirit of man, and it's not of Yahweh God, because you have to be led by that spirit. Do you understand me? Because charity is the divine. I mean, charity is the physical terminology, but yet that charity connects to that divine governing system of Yahweh God. You understand me? It's just that the acts, like your faith. You understand me? You believe in a higher power, yet politically you exercise that belief. You understand me? You believe in God, but you exercise it through the lifestyle that you live, and that is politics. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Okay. You have to be. Let's go back to Matthew, and let's get 14. Let me get Matthew 14. Let me get Matthew 14 and 14. 14 and 14, and then we're gonna go ahead and Matthew 18 and 27, I believe. 18 and 27, Matthew. Matthew chapter 14, verse 14. And Yahushua went forth and saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion towards them, and he healed their sick. And he's not talking about that multitude. It's not talking about the children of Israel, because see, understand, the northern kingdom, the time that Yahushua walked in the northern kingdom what we know as the Middle East, or the land of Canaan, the children of Israel was long gone into slavery, way before Yahushua even came. So when Yahushua came, you had decades and centuries that passed by before Yahushua came. You understand me? So when you go back to Psalm 76 and 1, I believe his name is great in Israel. And Israel is that northern kingdom. You understand me? See, when he healed their sick, he healed the Gentile nations. Because when the Israelites, not the Israelites, I mean all the Israelites went into slavery, but when the northern kingdom went into slavery first, you had other nations that moved into that land. See, so Yahushua healed the Gentile nations. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is, okay? So Yahushua was moved when he seen that multitude of Gentiles. He was moved. See, so you have to be moved by that spirit, and he fed 5,000 of them. You understand me? Abraham was moved by the spirit to where he obeyed the voice of the Lord, and he left his home. You understand me? And followed the voice of Yahweh God. He was moved by the spirit. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Matthew chapter 18. 18, verse 27. But I'm going to start at verse 26. The servant, Matthew 18, verse 26. The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. Now see, y'all believe in the Lord. Now the Lord is a title. You understand me? And that applies to man. You understand me? See, so when y'all say y'all believe in the Lord, who do y'all believe in? Because that identity has a name. Do you understand? It is what it is. Let's finish up. Verse 27. Then the Lord of the servant was moved with compassion. Listen. Then the Lord of the servant was moved with compassion and loosened him and forgave him of his debt. Meaning that he had compassion. You know what I mean? He had that love. You understand me? See, so he was moved by that spirit. He was moved by charity. You understand me? Charity is a part of love. Love is a part of charity. Love and charity all ties into the commandments. You understand me? That's why a lot of you all think that because y'all help the homeless, y'all think that y'all gonna make it into the kingdom. But as the result of that, are y'all helping the homeless and feeding the homeless, y'all make yourself equal to Yahweh God. So what happened is that y'all turn around and y'all blaspheme Yahweh God. You understand me? Because y'all lack understanding of what charity is, so y'all twist and bend the words to what he don't know you. You understand me? He don't know you. Matter of fact, let me get that again. Matthew chapter 7, verse 22. And many will say unto me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, cast out devils, done many wonderful works? Verse 23. Then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. And iniquity is the bend. That lifestyle y'all twist and bend. You understand me? And y'all lack understanding of charity. Y'all lack understanding of what this political game is about. Y'all lack understanding of what y'all worship. So as a result, y'all fall victim to the system of Illuminati. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is, okay? Because see, y'all have to understand, charity relates to the commandment. Everything ties into the commandments. Although charity is a physical act, but the physical acts are led by the Spirit. You understand me? Not by the acts of man, because the acts of man is corrupt. Do you understand me? In fact, let's go to 1 Corinthians. Let's get 1 Corinthians 8. First Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge, and meaning that the knowledge are the commandments, because you have the dietary laws too as well. But the church is not designed to teach you the dietary laws. You understand me? And even in some of y'all Christian holiness churches, even though y'all wear a long skirt like the Jehovah's Witnesses and the holiness, yeah, y'all still eat pork. You understand me? Because Yahweh God has dietary laws. You know what I mean? Now, can you eat pork and live? Yeah, you can eat pork and live, because the slaves done ate pork. You have many people that ate pork when they was little, and they still alive to this day. But it's unhealthy. Do you understand me? Because it leads to a lot of health problems. Now, understand the physical body will come to an end, and all cells and all that will die, because death is inevitable. Yet, understanding that charity is basically a part of the commandments and keeping the commandments. You understand me? And the commandments have dietary laws and what you can eat and what you cannot eat, what is pure and what is not pure. And the church is not designed to teach you, because the church is a religious organization of man, and that man has his own ideology and philosophy of the way of living. You understand me? It is what it is. Let's read that again. 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1. Now, as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we are all have knowledge. Knowledge is puffed up, but charity edify. See, charity edify that knowledge. You understand me? Okay, I'm giving an example. Say like I can be walking in the commandments, right? And then somebody next to me, they ordered a pork chop sandwich, or somebody next to me eating some type of pork, and they offer me, right? I'm going to tell them no, because I keep the dietary laws. However, I'm not going to weaken their conscience, because they are already weak. You understand me? See, so I'm not going to weaken them when they are already weak. You know, it is what it is, okay? But I know that knowledge, that you have dietary laws, and that's not fit to eat. So my charity, that love for the dietary laws, that love for the commandments, that love for God, I'm not going to eat that pork. And by my charity, it's going to edify that, because I'm not eating. You know what I'm saying? You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. See, so you have dietary laws as well. You understand? Hey, it is what it is. Let's get Hebrews 6 and 1 right quick. We're gonna get Hebrews 6 and 1, and then we're gonna go over to 13 and 21. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 1. Therefore, leaving the principles, listen, therefore leaving the principles of the doctrines of Christ, who is Yahushua, let us go unto perfection. Listen, let us go unto perfection, not laying again the foundation. Listen, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works and of faith towards Yahweh God. Meaning, let us go and practice. See, that perfection is talking about the commandments. Because when you practice and you exercise in these commandments and walk in these commandments, you are perfect. Now, in the eyesight of man, they're going to look at you and call you hypocrite. They're going to look at you and say this and say that. You understand me? But as you working, you walking in these commandments and living by these commandments, you are perfect. I told my supervisor that. He like, you ain't perfect. You still sin. I like, yeah, I'm perfect in the word. But he didn't understand. You want to feel me? You understand me? Let's read that again. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 1. Therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrines of Christ Yahushua, let us go unto perfection, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works of faith towards Yahweh, of the doctrine of baptism and of laying on hands and of resurrection of the dead and of eternal judgment. And this we will do if Yahweh permit it. You understand me? See, so those principles of doctrines, let's go to perfection, because why are you talking about the commandments? It's talking about exercising the commandments. You feel me? Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's go to 13, Hebrews 13 to 21, right? That I was holding. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 21. Let's say verse 21. Make your perfect in every work, every good work, to do his will, working in you that which is well pleasing in his sight, through Yahushua, to whom be the glory forever. Now let's go back to verse 20 and get a better understanding. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 20. Now that Yahweh of peace, that brought again from the dead our Lord Yahushua, the great shepherd of the sheep, through the blood of an everlasting covenant. See, so that covenant is everlasting, so Israel is never done away with. And the children of Israel is still here to this day. See, so when they say that them Jews over there, in the land with Benjamin Netanyahu yet, how you say it, Netanyahu, they're not the real Jews. You understand me? Those white people you see with the small baseball caps and shit, they're not the real Jews. Do you understand me? The Edomites are still here, but today they're known as the Europeans. You feel me? Do you understand? Okay, let's read that again. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 20. Now Yahweh of peace, that brought again from the dead our Lord Yahushua, the great shepherd of the sheep, through the blood of an everlasting covenant, make you perfect in every good work to do his will, working in you that which is well pleasing in his sight, through Yahushua, to whom be the glory forever and ever. And it's talking about that spirit, being led by that spirit. Yahushua brought obedience. Yahushua was led by the spirit. Do you understand me? So in order to do charity work, you have to be led by the spirit, because while that charity work is part of the commandments. Do you understand me? A lot of y'all don't practice the commandment, but y'all believe in charity. So y'all split the commandments and charity in half and die outside of your faith. That's why you go back to Romans, the flesh and the things that you do cannot please Yahweh God. But y'all lack understanding of these things, because it's not really taught into these churches or into the religious organizations that y'all are into. You understand me? It is what it is. Now when we're talking about that perfection, it's the commandments. Do you understand me? When you're talking about that charity, you're talking about, and he referring, or he relating to the commandments. Do you understand me? And in fact, let's go to Genesis. Let me get Genesis 6 and 9 right quick. And then let me get 17 and 1. Genesis chapter 6, verse 9. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. And Noah walked with Yahweh. See, so he was perfect in his generation, meaning that he wasn't idol worshiping. Do you understand me? And a lot of people idol worship but don't even know it. Because see, idol worshiping is not just the Caesar Borgia image. You understand me? Or of a Buddha or Allah. You understand me? Images and idol worshiping is not only the images, but it's also the material matters of this world. Whether it's from cars to clothes, do you understand me, to property, and prestige and fame. All that is idol worshiping. Because see, understand, worshiping is an act of obedience, and y'all obey the fame, the riches, and the wealth, the commandments of man to obtain wealthiness or to attain material matters. You understand me? You understand? See, understand that at the end of the day, you have a divine nature and a philosophical nature. And at the end of the day, who are you going to obey, and which one are you going to worship and follow? Do you understand me? See, so y'all, a lot of y'all lack understanding of charity because y'all split it from the commandments, and the charity is the commandments. Charity ties to the commandments. Without charity, you won't have the commandments. Without the commandments, there is no charity. There is no love. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Genesis chapter 17, verse 1. And when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, the Lord appeared to Abraham and said unto him, I am the Almighty Yahweh. Walk before me and be thou perfect. What? And be perfect. And that perfection is talking about idol worshiping. And a lot of you all die in idol worshiping, but y'all don't understand that. Because not just the Caesar Borgia, you understand me, but idolization come in many forms. You understand? Hey, it is what it is. Okay, see, so that perfection relating to the commandments of worshiping Yahweh God, and not worshiping nothing outside of that. Go back to 1 Samuel 15. Rebellion is the sin and witchcraft. Do you understand me? A lifestyle of iniquity. Either you in the commandments and you're gonna live, or you're gonna die outside of the commandments. Being on the commandments and living in the commandments, you walking in the divine nature. You understand me? Outside of the commandments, you walking in the philosophical spirit. And what happened, that philosophical spirit, you are dead. Because that philosophical spirit is corrupt, all right? And that charity is of man. And that charity of good works led you by the spirit of man. And it's not of Yahweh God. So he don't know you. You understand me? Because y'all twist that lifestyle, y'all lifestyle, y'all twisted that word, and that's what iniquity is, twisting being. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let me get Colossians 3 and 4. Let me get Colossians 3 and 14, Shalaki, and 2 Timothy 3:16. And 2 Timothy 3:16. Colossians chapter 3, verse 14. And above all these things, put on charity. Listen, above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectionist. See, that charity is the bond of perfectionist. That perfectionist, that charity is that bond to the commandments. Because your love for the commandments, your love for God, and your love for others. Do you understand me? Israel, the nation of Israel, when they left the desert, they are to exercise the commandments over the Gentiles. But they didn't do that. They went into slavery. You understand me? But understand, charity is connected to the commandments. The commandments is connected to charity. And all that is connected to love. You understand me? All of it is connected together. And that connection is led by the Spirit. That connection is led by the Spirit and belief of that truth. Do you understand me? Hey, it is what it is. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. All scripture is given by inspiration of Yahweh and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof, and for correction, for instructions in righteousness, that the man of Yahweh may be perfect. Listen, that the man of Yahweh may be perfect, through furnished unto all good works. And furnished unto all good works is to exercise those commandments in every aspect of your life. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. All right, let's go to Proverbs 11 and 15. What? Shalaki, Proverbs 11 and what? Oh, Shalaki, Proverbs 11 and 5. Yeah. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 5. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way. And that perfect is Christ. Christ is the commandments. Christ is that spiritual law. You understand me? So that charity goes back to the spirit. That spirit goes back to Yahweh God. You understand me? So you have to be led by the spirit of Yahweh God in order to do charity. You're not going to help everybody that you see. And you would be stupid to help everybody because you won't be able to help everybody. You understand me? You have to be led by the spirit to help people. That doesn't mean that everybody you see homeless, you give them money. You give them money, buy them food, and you buy them clothes, then you ain't going to have anything. Because say like, if the Yahweh God led you to give this man $20, right? Now, 2-3 hours later, you see somebody else say, yo, you got $1 for us so I can get some change? Or you got $1? And then you give them $10. Now, that $10 that you gave them is corrupt because that $10 came from the commandments of man because that was your own ideology and philosophy. You understand me? Because through the knowledge, through the ideology and philosophy, and through religious organization, teaching of Christianity doctrine, y'all think that if I do good, the Lord gonna bless me with material matters if I bless others. And that's the false ideology that y'all have when it comes to charity and to this truth and walking in this truth. So y'all die outside of y'all faith. You understand me? Yahweh God called many people, but only a few was chosen. You understand me? It is what it is. See, so that spirit, you have to be led by that spirit. You have to be moved by that spirit. You understand me? Yeah, you do. You have to be moved by that spirit, baby. Because that spirit, it's rap. Let's get 2 Peter 1 and 21. 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 21. For prophecy came not in the old time by the will of man. And when we say the will of man, talking about the philosophical ideology of man. But holy men of Yahweh spoke as they were moved by the Holy Ghost. See, so you have to be moved by the Holy Ghost. You have to be moved by that spirit. You have to be led by that spirit in order to do charity work. You understand me? In order to walk in these commandments. Okay? In order to live and exercise these commandments. Charity have to be involved. A lot of y'all don't involve the commandments. A lot of y'all think that charity is just to give to the people and God gonna bless you. You understand me? Hey, hey, it is what it is. Let's get 1 Corinthians 13 and 1 right quick. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 1. Though I speak with tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I become as the sound of brass or a tinkling cymbal. You understand me? So even though I speak with tongues, but I don't have no charity. I have no love with it. Do you understand me? And that love is teaching others the statutes, commandments, and ordinances. And you live in these statutes, commandments, and ordinances. So you are able to show them. Verse 2. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains and have not charity, I am nothing. See, so you need charity. Because charity connects to the commandments. Charity is that self-high love of Yahweh God and others. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Just get let's finish up. Verse 3. And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burnt and have not charity, it profit me nothing. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envy not. Charity vaunteth not itself and is not puffed up. Now when it says vaunteth, it's talking about brag and boast. Do you understand me? Charity don't envy. You understand me? And envy is connected to these are commandments, and envy is connected to covenants. You understand me? It is what it is, all right? See, y'all have to understand policies in place that cause you. Okay? Do you understand? Hey, it is what it is. Verse 5. Do not behave itself unseemly, seeking not our own, and is not easily provoked. Think not evil. Rejoicing not in iniquity. Listen. Rejoicing not in iniquity, but rejoicing in the truth. See, so that charity is the truth. Oh, no, you can go through. Charity is that truth. You understand me? Charity is connected to the commandments. The commandments is the truth. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Verse 7. Beareth all things, believe all things, hope all things, endureth all things. Charity never fails. But whether there be prophecy, there shall fail. Whether there be tongues, they shall cease. Whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. You understand me? For we know in part, and when we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. And that perfect is Christ, and Christ is the commandments. See, so when we talking about when them commandments come, we'll be perfect. Because we'll have new bodies, new covenant, new minds. We'll be perfect. You understand me? We'll leave the doctrines of the physical doctrines of the commandments and be unto perfection. Yet at the same time, we are perfect as walking into these commandments. But understand, we have a physical nature, and that's physical nature sins. Okay? But yet, y'all like that understanding. You understand me? Let's get Matthew 22. Let's go to Matthew 22. Let me get Matthew 22 and 37. And then we're going to get 1 Peter 4 and 8. We're going to get what? Matthew 22 and 37. Matthew 22, verse 37. Yahweh said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God. Let's read that again. Matthew 22, verse 37. Yahweh said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two hang the commandments. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Meaning that charity is a part of the commandments, and the charity, all that hangs, the law hangs on charity. You understand me? It is what it is. Okay, love the Lord thy God. Okay, love God and love others. Because the law, the commandments hangs on them too. Do you understand me? And when you say love others in them other nations, talking about exercising the commandments. Because see, if I exercise the commandments on these other nations, I'm not going to steal from you. I'm not going to try to fuck your wife. Or if you a woman, try to fuck that man, that person's husband. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to talk in deceptiveness. I'm going to exercise these commandments. And when I exercise these commandments, I'm showing you love. I'm showing you divine love. But y'all don't understand that because y'all used to the physical love. Oh, he brought me a candy and a rose. He loved me. But I'm exercising the commandments. You understand me? Because I'm not talking about you. I'm not I'm sowing discords. Do you understand me? See, so y'all have to understand what love is. You understand? And love is part of that charity. Charity is love because it all connects to the commandments. Do you understand me? What I was at? 1 Peter. Well, I had what? 1 Peter 4 and 8. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8. Above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins. And the multitude of sins or small sins, charity covers it up. Why? Because your love for God and your love for others. You understand me? See, so if you forgive and show mercy to others and show love to others, when you sin, Yahweh God show you love and mercy too. So it's a two-way street. You understand me? See, so understand charity does not deal necessarily with the physical act. Although it's part of the physical acts, yet those physical acts are led by the Spirit. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Let's get 1 John 5 and 2 right quick. 1 John chapter 5 verse 2. By this we know that we love the children of Yahweh when we love Yahweh and keep his commandments. For this is the love of Yahweh, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Meaning that his commandments don't make you cry. It's just that you can't do the things that you want to do philosophically and ideology. Like you say, okay, I want to practice homosexuality. You can't practice homosexuality because it's a divine law. But yet that divine law doesn't apply to the flesh. So the flesh going to automatically go and lust after the same sex. You understand me? Because the flesh is not subject to the law. The law is a spiritual divine because it comes directly from Yahweh God. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Listen, that's why Paul say that's why Paul say let's get Romans 5 and 13 right quick. And then we're gonna go ahead on it into 7, Romans 7 and 7, and then we're gonna Romans 7 and 7, and we're gonna go to 14. Romans chapter 5 verse 13. For until the law, sin was in the world, but sin was not imputed when there was no law. See, so there was no actual law. So to steal and to do this and to practice homosexuality, it was a sin, but it wasn't imputed, meaning it wasn't held accountable. Because why? That's the physical nature of man. You understand me? The physical nature of man strays away from the commandments of Yahweh God. You understand? Romans chapter 7 verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am sold under sin. Meaning that he was born in iniquity and in sinfulness. Like how we all was born. And created iniquity and sin because Adam sinned. So we was all born, and we all born in the sinful nature. You understand me? Hey, it is what it is. Now let's go up to verse 7. Romans 7 verse 7. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? Yahweh forbid. Nay, I had not known sin but by the law. For I had known lust except the law had said, thou shalt not covet. And thou shalt not covet anything. But yet you got policies and regulations in place and cause y'all to covet. Do you understand me? Because y'all lack understanding of what y'all worship. And y'all lack understanding of the Christianity or man religious organization. Y'all lack understanding of. So y'all die outside of y'all faith. Die and fall victim to the system of Illuminati. You understand? Hey, it is what it is. Let's get 1 Corinthians 16 and 14. First Corinthians 16 and 14, and then we're going to go into Ephesians 4 and 12, I believe. First Corinthians chapter 16 verse 14, but we're going to start at verse 13. 1 Corinthians chapter 16 verse 13. Watch ye, stand fast in faith. Quit like men, be strong. Quit you like men, be strong. Meaning that quit acting all weak. Quit acting like you don't know what time it is. Act like a man and know and understand. Watch these political events. Watch these astronomical events, because these events is going to put an end to this world. These events is going to put an end to this universe. You understand me? It is what it is. Okay, see, so you got to watch these things. Okay, and you got to have that faith. That faith is in what? The promises that was established to Abraham. I mean, that was spoken to Abraham and that was established in Jacob. But it was spoken to Adam. I spoken to Adam, to Abraham, and confirmed and established in Jacob. Do you understand me? It is what it is. Verse 14. Let all things be done with charity. See, listen. Let all things be done with charity. See, so when you exercise the commandments, you have to have that charity in you. That love of the commandments is the love of others too. You can't keep the commandments and say, fuck that person. Oh, I hate that person. I don't like that person, but I'm going to do this person. Now you become a respected person. Now you violating the commandments. See, y'all lack understanding of these things in these areas. Okay? These are the things y'all supposed to be learning when y'all having Bible studies on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You understand me? Y'all supposed to be learning these things in y'all Bible conference classes. You understand me? But the church don't teach these things. The church teach social issues, because the church know that through these social issues that you all are dead, because y'all mind is on the physical nature of man. See, you have to be in the divine nature. So you have to exercise these commandments, because these commandments come directly from Yahweh God. Do you understand me? Let's get Ephesians chapter 4 verse 12. For the perfecting of saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahweh Shai. Now let's go to verse 11. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 11. Now I'm going to start at verse 10. Verse 10. He that descended is the same also ascended up far above the heavens, that he might fulfill all things. And when he descended, he's talking about Yahweh Shai, because when you go back to John 1, the word in the beginning was the word, and then when you go down to verse 14, the word became flesh. So that's what he's talking about. You understand? Verse 11. He gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers. Not to everybody, only to those that truly believe, only to those that answered that call. That's who he gave that to. Because when you go back to Matthew 13, this truth is not for everybody, because everybody can't accept and handle the truth. You understand me? It is what it is. People can't see beyond what they're looking at. They'll comprehend. You understand? Verse 12. For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahweh Shai, till we come all in the unity of faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh, unto a perfect man, unto the measures of the statutes of the fullness of Yahweh Shai. Therefore we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro by and carried away about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. But speak in the truth and in love, may grow up in all things which is head, even Yahweh Shai. You understand me? See, so you can't be like little kids, like little children. Quit acting like little boys, trying to be men. It's time to be men and have faith and watch these things. You understand me? Yahweh Shai went back to the Father, and he's on his way back. See, but at the end of the day, charity is a part of the commandments. The commandments connects to charity. Charity and the commandments connects to love. All these things is part of the commandments. You understand me? And to exercise these commandments, you have to be in that divine nature. And to exercise charity, you have to be led by the Spirit. You're not, the Spirit is not, a God not going to lead you to every and help every homeless person that you run into. I don't help every homeless person that I run into. You understand me? But I know sometimes it be Yahweh God, because I know one time I was walking with pizza, right? They're going to get my kids from, I was feeding my kids. And they wanted pizza, so I went and got 2 cheese pieces from Little C's. And as I was walking, somebody just appeared out of nowhere. Yo, can I have, you got something to eat? And I walked by, then I stopped, I passed them. No, you can come through. No, you can come through. I stopped, I walked past them and stopped. And I backed up. I was like, nah, that's Yahweh God. There you go. I ain't had no money to give him nothing to drink, but I gave him a slice, but I should have gave him 2 or 3. You know what I mean? And I felt bad. You understand me? I felt bad. One person, then another person asked me, yo, you got $1? I was like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I ain't got nothing. Nah. You understand me? Because see, in order to do charity work, and true charity work, you have to be led by the Spirit. Now, if I would have gave that other man $1, I wouldn't have did it in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. I wouldn't do it in the divine nature. That would have been a philosophical ideology. You understand me? Because I'm expecting for something in return by doing charity. Learn and understand what y'all worshiping.